It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey, guys. Welcome back and happy Thursday. All right, guys. Well, I'm so excited because we have Kempire back in the room because, up until now, until this last chaotic episode, which Kempire was saying he had to watch a couple of times, and I kind of did too, I was a little bored with Salt Lake City, and I love my Salt Lake City women, but, it didn't have me. But this episode, I'm like, this is fucking chaos. So with that, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell for future stuff. We have a new podcast episode coming out tomorrow with Sophia Colpo, one of the Colpo sisters. We already did one with Aurora, and then we have Olivia coming up next. And we're talking about this Harry and Meghan Netflix documentary. So it'll be interesting. With that, let's welcome Kempire. Good morning.
What's going on?
Man. You have a live right after this at 12:30, right?
I do. It's a busy day.
Guys, before we jump into Salt Lake, in the meantime, I want you guys to rate last night's episode. But it's so funny because Kempire and I were talking, and Kempire has the ability, he likes his vacations. He takes amazing vacations, and he's able to sort of do that and have that man, I work my ass off. I want to enjoy my life. And I was telling him, I just don't have, 2023, that's going to be my resolution.
In all fairness, I think it was my last podcast episode, I was talking about, although I do take vacations, during those vacations, I do work. Yeah. But this next one, I'm definitely going to try and not work as much on vacation.
Do you know, last year, I was joking with you, but not really joking with you, but I was like, this is the vacation. You're going to find somebody abroad, and you're going to bring them home, and we're going to have Kempire on 90 Day Fiance. Now it's this vacation.
Okay, because last year, this time, it didn't happen. Okay.
Yeah. But it's because you had to work so much. And listen, you were shifting your career. Now you have an incredible channel. You're doing the damn thing. And now you're in a position where it's like, okay, we're opening our chest and life and love to more love.
Well, I had a recent reading, and no, it's not happening.
No, you're a liar.
I mean, I would like for it to happen, but I think right now I'm on a different path. Eventually that will happen. I'm not worried about it though.
Yeah. This is kind of, before we get into all of this Salt Lake City, and you don't have to answer this, but this is something that I get asked all the time by subscribers. And it's something that Jason and I talk about because we have a 10-year age gap, but people always ask us do you want kids? Did you ever want kids? And Jason pictures himself. He always says, I had a dream. We had a son named Sam, and I took him to T-ball. The other day, I had a dream that we had a little baby that was 3 years old or 3 days old, and his name was Adam. And I'm like, that's fucking narcissistic as shit. And his name was Adam, and then he died on me. And I was like, I don't want that. I don't want a kid. It made me so sad. I'm like, this is a sign.
In all fairness, normally dreams aren't exactly what they are. It could mean something else. Let's hope.
Yes,
let's Google that.
Yeah. Yes. That, and Google does pretty well with this stuff. But all right, we're getting, as far as ratings, that's not even funny. I'm not laughing at that, guys. That's just really fucking sad. 7.6, 8.5 to 9.10, a 7. Wow. Okay. I want to hear what you say, Kempire. What would you rate last night's chaotic episode?
They're lucky I had breakfast this morning because, I'm probably going to be a little bit more generous. I'd probably give it a solid 7 because if I'm basing it off of season 1 and season 2 and what they brought in those seasons, this season's still just not giving. Yes, last night's episode was far better than maybe the season so far, but a 7. I think I'm being generous with the 7. It just feels like a lot of people are all over the place, and I feel like the Friend Doves are really trying to get their snowflake for next season.
I kind of feel like the Friends of, though, are finally starting with the confessionals and the reads and the putting themselves out there. I feel like they're starting to sort of understand the assignment. Yeah. I can see, though, if it took this long, I see why the Friend ofs did not receive snowflakes.
But yeah.
Heather Gay recently said on a episode of Watch What Happens Live that Jen Shah is the show, and she's curious to see how the show goes after her not being there. Now, one of the biggest things that I've always heard from Andy Cohen and have kind of learned to understand after LVP exited, Bethany Frankel. That's not a good one. Vicky Gunvalson, a few of them after they exit, I realized like, okay, you're not bigger than the show. But I do wonder, without these two big personalities, Mary Cosby and Jen Shah, I'm like, will this franchise survive?
I mean, based on the ratings for the season, it's not looking good. And this is with Jen Shah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And it's like, Bravo's not going to be afraid to pull the plug. I mean, Dallas, DC, Miami, like we've pulled the plug in if Tamara doesn't save this season for OC, that shit definitely is going to get the plug pulled.
Do you think that? For real? Even with Vicky making a guest appearance?
I don't think that the show, I think that we invested so much of our time or our attention into Heather Dubrow coming in and bringing back the opulence, and they made it such a big, like, exciting thing. And sure, she brings the opulence, but I think that when she gets to say, when you have so much money where you get to say to producers, like, I don't want to do this. This isn't going to happen. I'm not doing this. Like, we need somebody who's like fighting to pay their bills, and producers say, this is the shit that we need. Or they're fighting for, like, they want the attention, the fame. We need that kind of hunger, or else we're just getting a housewife with a producer cap.
Do we really? We need somewhere in between, because I feel like we get that on Salt Lake City. We have quite a few friendos that are desperate to be on the show. Maybe not, to make rent or make mortgage, but the desperation can come across just really, like, not favorable in the fan's eyes, at least not for me.
I can see that. We got
to find a balance in between somewhere.
We have to find a balance. Now, since we're talking about balance, everyone always asks me all the time, have you talked to Jen recently? I talk to a few of the cast members every once in a while. Did you meet Meredith with me when we were at Bravocon?
No, I didn't see Meredith backstage that day.
Did you meet any of the Salt Lake City women?
Whitney.
With me, right?
Yes. And I saw Heather when she was talking. I forgot who she was talking to backstage. I saw Heather. I think that was it. I don't remember meeting anyone else.
Okay. I mean, Bravocon. Okay.
Yeah. No, so long ago, but not so.
It was a lot. By the way, next year, we have to do Bravocon again, and we have to completely do, like, start to finish. I don't know if you'd be down for this, but I think it would be fun to do, because I feel like Jason's like, I'm going to outsource somebody to do Caroline Stanberry's booth, and then I'm going to get to run around backstage with you guys. And I was like, please don't, because I have a lot of fun just like just carrying. Well, because Jason will be like, Adam, you're embarrassing me. And I'm like, no, this is like, we had fun. Yeah. And when I ran around with Emily and you, I was like it
was a whirlwind weekend.
Yes. So we should just vlog the hell out of it from two totally different perspectives. And like,
I agree. And a lot of people wanted me to vlog I just said, it's a lot of work. They don't realize, in order to get the content, to record the content, I'm not really great with making sure I record every single moment. You're lucky. You guys are lucky that Adam was smart enough. Oh, let's take a picture. Because I don't know what you probably would have never known what happened backstage.
I know everywhere we were walking, Emily had like one of those sticks, like selfie sticks, and she's like recording. And of course, with the purple hair, people were like, "Oh my God, Emily D. Baker!" And she'd be like, "Yes, hi, I'm Emily. Hi, I'm Emily." And I'm like, but she caught it all on camera, and the whole time I was just so overwhelmed with everything that was happening and trying to watch the panels, watch the shows, get into the shows, the behind the scenes. I'm like, you need a balance. Like, next year, I'm going to hire somebody. I'm going to be Kanye West and hire a camera crew to follow me around.
Please don't be Kanye West.
Well, without the stuff, the extra stuff. Yes. I'm going to take a page from his book, just not that page from his book.
Yes.
All right. Before we get into the craziness of it all, Norma Maldonado, good morning, my loves. Kempire is married to his career. Love will come later. Happy to wake up and see you both. Aw, that's super sweet. Norma, we love you. Also, I cannot wait to hear your Megan story, because I saw that you posted about that. Norma is very much so involved in Hollywood. She has a new Christmas movie that just came out, and she is doing the damn thing. She also has like the most beautiful family ever, and her kids are super successful. TT Doll, Kempire, Paris Hilton's fourth cousin, is a rich bee in Norway through jewelry. Welcome here.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to ask you, when we saw the shoe being thrown overboard, I don't know how you felt about this. I immediately thought it was Dana Banana. It was not Dana Banana. It was obviously Angie K's. What was your first guess before we actually got the answer?
I didn't even guess. I was just sort of like, why are we throwing shoes off the ship and then denying it later? Like, here's the thing with Jen Shah. Part of me wishes that she would lean into like, yeah, I threw it. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be that girl, be that girl.
Yeah. Like, just own it.
Yeah.
I think what happened here is, and I always like, I get so much shit for, and Jason always tells me like, be careful how much you lean into one way or the other. And we even battle about this on the podcast, you know, and I feel like sometimes I can't help but be myself in the way that I feel about things. And I try to understand where people are coming from. And I'm looking at Jen in this moment, like, we have her, we have a boat day. And I don't want to compare her to Erica, but you remember Erica's boat day where she just got a little schwasty pants and she has all the legal, she has everything going on. And it's almost like, it almost kind of comes off like you might be numbing yourself or trying to escape because you don't know what's going to happen. You have all of this family stuff happening. You go home, you look at your kids, you don't really know what to say to them, but then you get a girls trip. And on that girls trip, you kind of get to take it a little above and beyond because your kids are not seeing that. And I feel like once you start taking it a little above and beyond, you don't necessarily remember everything.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if she chucked it and then she was called out about it. And she's like, I don't fucking know who chucked your shoe. It wasn't me. Like, what do you...
Oh, so you really believe that she didn't remember?
I think that it might have been a little bit of a booze cruise.
Oh, no, she was definitely drunk. She was definitely drunk. But here's the thing. What I know, and Meredith had this sort of point of view last night as well. Meredith and Heather, I'm like, I need you guys to pick a side. The way that they are able to mix and I love to twerk on the fence, but they're not twerking on the fence. They rationalize behavior that I'm just like, how are we rationalizing Jen? Jen has had this sort of behavior since season 1. And this was before her, allegedly before her, crimes. So I'm just like, I can't make an excuse for her behavior this time around. And she leans into people feeling sorry for her. I'm not feeling sorry for Jen. Lock her up.
If you were in a situation like Jen, say, okay, I want to play devil's advocate really quick here. Mm-hmm. Let's say there were things that went down and then, or I'm going to lean into it from Jen's perspective. And I just want to see what you think.
Okay.
Let's say Jen feels like I really did nothing wrong. I grew up in this business, or I started working in this business where I saw that these were the things that were being done. And I thought that this was sort of normal. This is how you operate. And then I was told by the Southern District of New York and my attorneys, like, right now we have a bunch of witnesses who are willing to testify against you. This is going to be a long, hard battle. It's going to take your family through the mud, everybody in between, anybody who you're associated with, or you can take the plea. And then all of a sudden, you take the plea, but since you take the plea, it automatically paints you as guilty, because we have seen people take pleas before in order to get a lesser sentence because they don't feel like they can fight and beat the system.
Yeah.
If you're going on a show like this and you know that it's almost inevitable, like this is coming your way, are you partying? Are you not doing the show? Are you getting like wasted pants to kind of numb yourself because you know that you can't? By the way, I thought, and this is so stupid, I said to Jason, I was like, you can get wine in your commissary. That is not a dig. I just thought like, I was like, you can get wine. Jason's like, no. He's like, no, you fucking idiot. You cannot get wine in your commissary. And I was like, I really just thought that, like, you pay the money and then you get like, they bring you like a little bottle. And I've never been to, I don't know.
I mean, I watch Orange is the New Black. I've never seen that.
I mean, I watched Orange is the New Black. Oh, yes, because they make the in-house so shitty. So shitty. Jails are
Energy
fucked
right
up.
now.
Okay.
So she's partying. So you believe that she's partying right now because of what is ahead of her. And Meredith said the same thing last night.
Yeah. I think it's like I think it honestly, to be fair, if I were in that situation, I think I would be 10 times worse. I think I would be numbing the shit out of myself because I would be so absolutely terrified for the future, not actually knowing what that future holds. Like she still to this day, you know, everyone was saying like, why did she ask for a continuance on the sentencing?
Yeah.
And I'm like, probably because she doesn't want to go into the holidays thinking about that and like knowing what that fate is. I think that she probably would want that continuance because it lets her get through the holidays, spend time with her family, maybe as much as possible for them, put on a mask and like block that out. And then I think she wants to face it going into the new year because if you think about the Chrisleys, they're going into the holidays and then they know on January 1st, they're turning their asses in.
That's a situation too.
Like happy 2023.
I mean, for us, I don't know about for them. Can you just remind the audience, because I know you did a video talking about, because we talked about the last time that I was here, we talked about her possibly not being at the reunion. And we said that is a big, no matter how you feel about Jen Shah, if we're just talking business, it didn't make sense to not have her at the reunion because the reunion would be just as bad as the season if you didn't have her there.
No, so okay, thank you. Great point. Yeah, so Jen Shah will be at the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 3 reunion. What I didn't necessarily understand was the whole basis of her not going to the reunion was a matter of optics. But then we were going to do a one-on-one. So
are we still doing that?
No. Now it's legit, you know, the reunion, which I thought that made the most sense because just like Erica, who has not been accused of any crimes, just failing to pay her taxes. If you have a situation where you have somebody who's being accused of something and it looks bad for optics, it's not like you don't get to pick and choose, right? You don't get to pick and choose like this looks bad for optics, but we need you here. I think that is kind of bullshit. So the way that they sold Bravocon to her was her safety. And they didn't want people to attack or go after her because maybe there's somebody whose family member might have been done wrong through a similar scheme that she's been accused of, and they wanted to keep her safe. That's how they sold it to her. I believe it was optics. And then they took her out of the after show. And then I was like, okay. But then they were like, you're not going to the reunion. We want to do a special one-on-one with you. But then I'm like, how much sense does that make? Because at the reunion last season, we had Mary Cosby. We couldn't talk about Mary because Mary chose not to go. She was a huge part of the season, whether she was in her closet or not. And now we don't get to talk about her. Like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. And then you have Jen, and I'm like, this whole season, we're getting a moment from Jen every single episode. We have the Shah exposed Finsta account. We have the shoe throw. We have the failing to remember the whole Lisa Barlow situation on the boat. We have her and Heather Gay. Her and Meredith are all of a sudden friends. We have her. It's like
admitting guilt and going to jail.
We have a lot. So the way that I think that this would or should play out is let her, like, I think that they should do 3 parts because we don't need more than 3 parts of the Salt Lake City reunion. But 3 parts, let the first 2 parts be all about what's going on throughout the season and the conflict, maybe resolution throughout the cast. And then the 3rd part, really let Andy kind of focus that, like he did with Erica on Beverly Hills, on Jen.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't know if you saw this. I believe it was when the podcasters Bitch Sess were on Watch What Happens Live this week, and he was talking about how podcasters have really, you know, helped the Real Housewives franchise, and they have. But you notice how he left out the blogs, YouTubers, and things like that. I thought that was interesting.
Did I tell you about my interaction? Yeah. Listen, there's no shade, no nothing to Andy Cohen. I think that he probably is in a position where he has to be made aware of everything that's, you know, being said, how the fans are swaying, whether it's like, get rid of Lisa Rinna and Erica, bring in Kathy. Like, you have to go based off of your job is on the line. There are bigger people than Andy Cohen, NBC executives, suit and ties, that are like, if you're not doing your job, well, we'll find somebody to do it for you.
No.
Kempire and I will tag team in Andy Cohen. I'm sorry. You can go home and be with your family. We don't have children. I'm never having a baby named Adam. Okay. Tag us in. But yeah, I saw that and he's like, we love it. And I'm like.
And I wonder if that was even truly genuine when he was saying it to them, or was he just saying it to them because they're there? I think he likes anyone that's going to blow smoke up his what, to be honest.
See, the funny thing is to me, and I'm not shit talking Andy Cohen, because we wouldn't be sitting here, like a lot of the views that we get on our channels are because of the shows that he created. So it's almost like Kim Kardashian cannot talk shit about the Paris Hilton, right? She wouldn't have a career had it not have been for Paris, like putting her in the limelight and setting the bar. I get that. However, I'm sitting back and I'm looking and I'm like, you have Bitch Sesh, you have Danny Pellegrino, you have certain people on that really sway in Andy's favor.
No.
So of course, those are the people who are going to be on. And I think, we present different problems. We witnessed this at Bravocon, right? Like where there are some people who you didn't want to run into. And then I know that I've gotten certain emails and also retracted tickets for Bravocon because I did the Jen Shah interview. And I think that there are certain things that we might make problematic for them.
Sorry. We are the voice of the people.
I don't even know most of the people. I am a representative in this moment. Guys, I'm not going on vacation. I'm not looking for love. She's in the other room. We are here.
Have you told everyone? I don't remember if this was public knowledge that you...
Oh, no. Oh, hi, guys. Well, guess what? Tomorrow, Jason and I are going to get our marriage license, and just because we're getting a prenup doesn't mean that we're in a fake relationship. So anyone who's saying that can kindly...
oh, damn. Well, fake after how many years? How long have you guys been together?
It's going to be 9 in June. It's almost a decade. I keep saying 10. It feels like 20. But
it is 20 in gay years.
Shit. If dog years, if they get like a 7 per 1 year, then give me 2 per 1 years, because it's been, listen, I always joke with Jason and we joke with each other. He's like, you stole my 30s. I'm like, you stole my 20s. And it's really, if I look at it and I think about my life in a different way, I honestly absolutely could not. I don't picture my life like not having a Jason in it. I think that I would be a disaster. 2, it's like, I had somebody say this to me or spread kind of like this false narrative of it's because some people can't handle being alone. It's not that I couldn't handle being alone. It's that I think because I was so happy being alone before I met Jason. I didn't ask for this. I just ran into him at a gay pride situation in LA. But I think what happens is once you get like a taste of meeting somebody who you feel like is so connected in your life, and it's like you want to do life with them, then I think it almost makes it sort of sad and somber if you can't necessarily come to terms with certain things or make things work. And thankfully, after 50 gay years, we've been able to do that.
So, it's so funny that you even talk about that, because it made me start to think about Jen Shah and Coordinator Shah's relationship and how they're going to feel being separate when she goes to prison. I don't know why I had that thought.
I don't, it's wild to me to think about that. I think that of course, obviously we know that, we did the interview with Jen and I got to meet her sons and her husband. And when I say this man is so in love with his wife, it's wild. And she also is so obsessed with her husband and like a healthy, just the way that they talk each other through things, the way that they they're there for each other. And then before we did the interview, I had multiple conversations because Jen was in glam and she was getting things done to make sure that she was like camera ready. And Jason and I were just sitting there because the set was done. The videographer was ready. He had to wait like an hour and a half. And he's like, and I was like, I already Venmo'd you. You can't go anywhere. But then for Coach, we sat there and we got to have some conversations with Coach and we got to have dinner with him too. It's just I think his heart is just broken throughout the whole thing. And you see him, and I think it's not only he's not a selfish guy.
No.
It's not just for him and the possibility of his relationship having a new dynamic, right? But I think it's more so he thinks about his kids. He thinks about his wife. I really feel like he personally puts himself last in the whole equation, which is very rare to see. You have a lot of people who are super selfish.
Yeah.
But he's not one of them. I don't know how you navigate that. I don't know what that looks like. Like, I think about Todd and Julie Chrisley, them both going to prison. Like, Todd had a rumored, employee who he had a relationship with. Is Todd going to have a new relationship? And he goes, no, I don't know. I'm not saying it. Like, do you find yourself? You finally there's my uncle didn't come out until he was 44.
Wait, when did he go in?
No, I mean, he didn't come out of the closet. But I'm saying, you just don't know, what is going to happen. Like, when people spend that much time apart, you kind of reevaluate things. Sometimes people have certain needs. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't know.
So what you're saying is, do you find a boo while you're in jail?
I mean, do you find a boo while you're in jail? That's what I was saying about Todd. But then also for somebody who's a spouse who, God forbid, a sentencing happens for Jen and it's something that is not what they were expecting. You don't know. I don't know how people move forward. I don't know what their impulses are. For me, I don't like being touched. I don't like people. If Jason was sentenced to 10 years tomorrow, I would take a 10-year vacation. I would not go find somebody. I would not be in a relationship. I wouldn't entertain it. I would just be like, okay, well, I have 10 years off and I'm going to add that to the 10 years we've been together. So now that 50 gay years became 100 gay years. And this is a fucking lifetime. We're going to be together longer than the Queen was in Reign.
Damn. I don't know if I can make those promises, but I haven't met that person yet. So I can't say that yet.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, what do you think? How do you feel about it?
I find it, I don't know. I haven't been around Jen and coordinator Shah like that to know their relationship, but based on what we see on the show, I can see why the fans feel very differently towards Sharrieff versus, Erica, because when you sort of compare the situations, it's because he's not so out there in our faces. He's very humble on how he carries himself. And I think that's the big issue with an Erica Jane. It's not whether or not people feel as if she had involvement. Yes, there are people that do believe that. I think it's more about how she has shown no empathy for anyone involved in the situation. And it's just been very tasteless with it. That's the difference that we see with, Sharrieff. I mean, we could probably see a little bit more from Jen herself, and I think people probably would feel a little bit differently about her situation.
Yeah,
but her behavior this last episode alone really is not going to help her. I hope she knows that they are still watching.
What do you think about? I think it's first of all, Angie K and her confessionals and talking about she's really latched onto. We know and. For a fact, what they do, guys, is they film the entire season. So after the season's done filming, they call in the women sometimes at the same time. They put them in different rooms, especially Salt Lake City. I got to see the studios where they film them. And sometimes they'll have them in different rooms and they're blocked off in their sound room. So you can't hear each other. They just might be scheduled at the same time in order to be efficient. And they'll tell you, we need this outfit, this outfit, this outfit. You guys have 3 outfits. You have this amount of time to change and do glam, whatever. You have to be on point. But Angie did not film this confessional until after the season was entirely done, which obviously means that they never found resolve. Dana never found resolve. Angie, Heather, Meredith, Jen, they're on one side. Whitney, Dana, Angie K, and Lisa Barlow are on another side. It's just a weird dynamic. I don't know. But with Angie and her reads and her confessionals, how do you feel about it? Do you think it's housewife material? Because Jason said, I think she could be a shoo-in next season.
I have to say, Angie K, these last couple of episodes, because before it was just sort of she was just a plant.
Like a puppet.
Yeah, or no, more like a plant because she didn't say much. The plant behind you, just there. You know what I mean? And yeah. I felt as if Angie did not really bring a lot until these last couple of episodes. And then I was just like, wait a minute. Even in this last episode when she was talking about the Polynesian dancers.
Not getting paid.
That was an incredible, no matter how you feel about Jen, I felt like that was an incredible event. But when she says who's going to, I have to pull them aside and let them know they're probably not going to get paid. I said, wait a minute, Angie K. Wait a minute. Even last week when she was calling her out for not paying, I was like, oh, wait. Okay, Angie, you're fine. You have woken up. Finally.
And not only that, she's going against Heather.
Oh.
When Heather's like, she's like, you're opening your mouth and there's a whole lot of shit coming out. And I'm like,
Heather, though, is getting it this season, but every housewife does. And she deserves it because I feel like Heather likes to give us a certain appearance, but is doing other things behind the scenes. So I don't think she's as innocent or as great as we thought she was.
You know, I got to meet Heather super briefly at Bravocon, and I really just thought that would be somebody that I would have jived with so well. It's actually all of the people I thought I was, except for Drew Sidora. Drew Sidora was like, she's a saint. And I thought that she was just so sweet.
Not a saint.
Maybe, you might have your, listen, you might have your own things, right? But we're all different, right? And the housewives that I thought I was going to go up to and I was going to have the best relationship based off of our conversations, I was completely taken aback. And then the ones who I didn't necessarily know, I was like, oh my God, I'm upset. Like, I didn't know I was going to be obsessed with Brandi Glanville. And she even told me, she's like, you have eyes that I don't know if I can trust. And I was like, nobody trusts you, so we're even. And she's like, I like you. What are you drinking? And I'm like, I'll take a Pinot Grigio. But, you know, like you just don't know. And for Heather, I met Heather and I heard some things about her through just, it's not just knowing the cast, but also some of the production teams they share with other housewives and stuff. And you hear things and it's all like, it's not really speculation when it's coming from somebody's perspective of working with that person. That's not speculation. That's just their perspective. And I've heard people who have worked for the franchise and with Heather Gay that she is one of the most difficult women to work with. And I was like, there's no fucking way. Like, she seems like the nicest, kindest. Like, I would never imagine her to be difficult or like nasty or mean. I still don't necessarily imagine it, but my encounter was very
it. After this episode, I imagine it because she wanted Angie K to shut up. She was like, why are you down here saying anything? Because you need to be called out for your hypocrisy.
But then also she threw it like, I kind of was team Whitney in this situation when she's like, well, what about Whitney? And Whitney's like, what the fuck? She's like, Whitney brought Angie to the choir thing. And Whitney was like, why am I being brought into this? You're the one straddling the fence. And Dana's over here throwing Heather Gay under the bus and saying, listen, like she said, if she had to choose a side, then she would choose, you know, Angie's side if Jen made her choose a side. And then she also told Angie not to accept responsibility for Shah exposed because then it looks like, you know, she's guilty of something that she's not guilty of. So Dana's over here throwing her under the bus and she needed a life raft and she grabbed Whitney by the extensions and yanked her ass under. And she's like, you're my life raft.
I can't.
The hell is that?
I still find it interesting. I mean, I get it, the whole legal reasons for her not making a public statement and admitting to the finster. But when she said that she had, Angie H said that she had her PR people, I said, why do you have PR people? Angie, stop. You have been so desperate since season 1 to be on this show. We are over you. Please do not come back. You are annoying.
Not
Sorry.
Desperate. Over you?
Desperate. Come on.
Listen, well, Whitney just leaked those receipts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she leaked the receipts of Angie trying to grasp on, and you know what's so sad is like, I posted this. I posted that we were doing this, and Angie sent me like a yay smiley face. And now I feel bad because we're talking about Angie like this. But the thing is listen, my personal experience was with Vanderpump Rules, and I watched a lot of people, you know, get audition for Vanderpump Rules. I watched how it changed personalities. I watched how some people were super desperate. And then the ones who weren't were the ones that producers latched onto. Like, oh, you don't give a shit? Like, you're gold. Yeah. And then it was the ones who were like texting and like, Whitney, like, I definitely, you know, I wanted to see if you would invite me to the cast trip. Oh, you don't feel comfortable? Should I ask Heather? Heather said no. Should I ask Jen? And it's like when you start kind of getting in that mode of having to ask around and people don't want you around, that's a bad sign. It's a bad sign for like a housewife that's super popular if people don't want them around. And Brandi Glanville went through this at one point because a lot of people liked the fact that she said whatever was on her mind. and she always spoke her truth. But then she got to the point where some people didn't want to film with her. And then if people don't want to film with you, it presents a problem because producers cannot make you contract or not. Like, they still have to film a show, and there's so many elements into making the show. If you don't want to film, or people don't want to film with you, that's adding another chaotic element.
Especially a friend of that they can easily not film with them.
Exactly. So for Angie, I'm curious how this is going to pan out for her over time. Like, I wonder, I don't necessarily think that she will be upgraded. Next season, they have to upgrade one of these women. That's a good question for you. Which woman do you think would be upgraded out of Angie K, Angie Harrington, and Dana Banana?
Well, originally, I probably would have said Dana. However, Angie K has really stepped up these last couple of episodes. So her performance at the reunion and the rest of the season will be important for me. At first, I thought she really was going to be a snowflake holder. So I was actually shocked when she was not. Yeah. But I'm leaning towards Angie K because she has surprised me. But I still like Dana. But Dana is still sort of like giving me friend of vibes. We don't really know too much about her. We don't, you know what I mean? So I'm sort of like, okay, I'm watching Dana. I like you, but Angie right now, Angie K for me is the winner.
I'm surprised that they cast Dana because Dana lives like an hour and a half outside of Salt Lake City. Like, what
city does she live in?
Canada. I don't know. Like, she lives far as hell. And I know, by the way,
Dana from Canada.
Dana Banana from Canada. Which, listen, I'm not mad at Dana because Dana came in as a friend of, and she is challenging people, and that's how you do it, right? You challenge people. As long as you tell the truth, if you challenge people, there will be fans who will accept you.
Yeah.
But also, Dana, there's an unfortunate photo that's coming out, and Dana is going to be on edge. And it's from Dana's past. I feel so bad for Dana.
Coming out on the show?
I don't know where it's coming out. I just know it's coming to life. And it's not the best look. So we have that. We have the finale, which is centered around Heather Gay's choir. I'm like, that is not a finale. I don't know what the hell is going on. But listen, welcome to reality TV. You don't get to have, Dorinda Medley said it the best. You don't get to have skeletons when you're on reality TV. It just doesn't happen. That's why I stay my ass off of reality TV. Okay.
I find that interesting, Dorinda, but I'll leave it alone.
Which one? Dorinda. Oh, Dorinda. I thought you meant Dana. I was like, I'll have to let you in after this, but she's really gonna regret being on reality TV after this comes out. And I'm sure she has to know it's coming out because everyone knows.
Oh,
it's like we'll talk after this.
Oh my God.
A lot of shit. Love me some Kempire. Alim Nobe. Hey, thank you so much. And I wanted to ask you really quick, after last night's episode, with all of the chaos, first of all, Jen did not remember the argument with Lisa Barlow, obviously on the boat. We saw that. And then Lisa Barlow was like, I've been a fucking good friend to you. And what the... And then you have Heather Gay over here fighting with Angie K. Then Dana wants to know why everybody is taking, Jen's shit. Poor Meredith is like, I don't want to dance. Like, I'm built like a cardboard box. I don't want to dance or whatever she said.
That, though. Come on.
What did she say? She said something about cardboard.
She has no butt or hips. I mean, basically.
She said no butt or hips. I love Meredith. This is not shade. First of all, if I tried to do a Polynesian dance or twerk,
please don't.
Meredith would get a 10 compared to me. I would look like that ugly meme of like that skinny, like little duck thing trying to do things. Like, I don't have. Jason moves his body and he's like, I love to dance. And he does really well. And he's always the life of the party when there is a dance. Like, we went to a wedding, we went to the Family Karma premiere, and he was dancing in the middle with all the aunties. And then I sit there and I hug the bar and I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this. And I'm so uncomfortable. Like, I just don't. So Meredith, I give her an A for effort. 100%.
I love Meredith in her confessionals, though. Like this one, when they had to bring back Mary Cosby and her calling Whitney little girl, and then she did it, and then she just made herself laugh. I was just like, oh, Meredith.
Yeah, I liked her. And in this, you saw a lot of sleepy eyes in this, right? You can see them right now.
Oh, because the drunk. The drunk.
I call them sleepy eyes. I don't know what you want to call them. You can call them your own thing. If you call them drunk, I don't know. I don't know. But this episode was chaotic and I cannot wait. Heather Gay said at the end, find yourself a new Heather Gay, but we also know Heather Gay is not going anywhere. And I'm curious to see how the dynamics change. But before we let you go, Kempire, because we know that you have another live at 12:30, I want to ask you a couple questions really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch this?
Yes, I did. I normally don't watch what happens. Like I watch the clips, but when Bethany comes through, you gotta watch.
Who had the effed up sense of humor to put the most chaotic, bullheaded two people together? And when she looked at him and she's like, you're like a disgruntled employee. Like, why are you so angry? What's wrong with you? I was like,
that's who he's always been. Jeff Lewis has always been that guy. He's always been that way.
I don't think I could ever, honestly, I could see myself being friends with Bethany and I think I would fall in line. I would at that point be an Angie H or an Angie Castaneva. And I would just kind of be like a plant, right? Because I would feel like I would be afraid to say something. I had a Serbian friend and her name was Alexandra. And I would say something and I'd be like, that was so rude. And she's like, why is it rude? That's an American thing. That's your problem. Where I come from, we say whatever we feel. Like all of a sudden you get your feelings hurt because I told you gained 5 pounds and you think that's rude. Like it's straightforward. I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings. Get over it. And I'm like, oh. So then I would stop saying things because I was so afraid to say anything because I was going to get my ass ripped open. And now for Bethany, I look at her the same way. But for Jeff, I'm like, Bethany doesn't look for problems. She comes to you. She's like, if you're going to present something, back it up.
Yeah.
Whereas like Jeff sits there and he's like, I'm going to toy with you.
I couldn't be friends with Jeff and I couldn't be friends with Bethany. I feel like Bethany talks a lot and I'm a good listener, but when you talk that much, I feel like you would work my nerve. Just saying.
Really?
Yeah.
Did I work your nerve?
No, you don't talk that much.
Oh, I was about to say, I feel like I talk a lot.
I'm still able to get my words in. I just feel like with Bethany, you wouldn't be able to speak.
Oh, yeah. I see that too. I get that. Okay. Well, we're out, Dana Banana. But last question. I did a poll, and in the poll today, I posted it, and I asked everybody, let me just read it just in case so I don't like F this up. But I said, if one of these housewives had to leave the franchise for next season for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, because they do have new cast predictions, which housewife would it be? So when I asked, I gave these options, and I'm curious what you think. Which housewife, if you had to choose, one leaves? Are you choosing Erica, copying Kyle Jenner, losing her earrings, Girardi?
Oh.
Kathy, Hunky Dory Hilton? Lisa, PE coach Renna? Or PK?
I'm going to say the unpopular opinion.
Kathy Hilton?
No. No. Because Kathy's just a friend of. I can see Kathy coming back and just being a friend of. I'm probably going to say Lisa Renna because I feel as if it would break up the Fox Force flunkies. And I feel like she is a puppeteer. Okay. And I feel maybe the early seasons of Dorito might come back without all of this big other energy. Maybe.
Okay. I think honestly, and again, guys, he has to go live in 10 minutes, so I'm going to keep this really quick. I just posted a video about this, and there's Dorinda Deadly who's giving casting news, but I feel like we've all called this for the whole time. Diana Jenkins is out. Cherie Zampino is out. Crystal Kung Minkoff is going to be demoted. I feel like that Dorit Kimsley also demoted, and I think that they're going to bring in a new friend. I really don't feel like Lisa and Erica are going anywhere, but we will have to wait and see. In the meantime, guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Thank you, Kempire. We appreciate the hell out of you for making a not so amazing episode that much more fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Shoot me a text anytime, and then let me know when you're leaving. I'm excited to see your travels. I know that you don't share too much and tell people like where you're going and doing things, but I'm curious to see.
I definitely will. Thanks,
Wait,
guys.
do you go? Like, I was trying to do a vacation and I went on Groupon, and Jason was like, no, fuck no.
Oh my God. No. I mean, no offense. There are plenty of people that have booked trips
Yeah, what's wrong with Groupon?
Before the pandemic on Groupon, I just don't know the latest of Groupon flights and trips. So I'm not
Way
going
to reel that in.
It's not going to be me.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right, Campfire. Well, we will see you over on your channel in less than 10 minutes. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye. All right, guys. We also have a charity event that's going on this week, or this upcoming week, December 13th. We will be part of sponsoring it. It's for the Children's Museum. It's literally a below deck adventure cast member watch party, and they're asking for you to bring an unwrapped toy. The proceeds are going back to children who deserve to enjoy the holiday season. So if you guys want to pitch in, or if you want to be a part of this, give back, we would love that. You can email us at info@upandadamlive.com. You can also slide into Jason or myself, any of our DMs. Let us know you want to be a part of it, and we are more than happy to make things happen. Elaine Hargate, she donated some toys, and I thought that was absolutely incredible. So thank you, Elaine, and anybody else. And we also understand that right now, trying times, prices are going up. So it's whatever you can do, and don't feel obligated to do anything that you don't want to, or that you can't. Not that you don't want to, that you can't. We also have Sophia Colpo coming on Hot Messy Podcast tomorrow. So join us tomorrow. And yeah, with that, I'm going to go figure out what Jason's doing. And I love you guys so much. Don't forget to smash that like button, get subscribed, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Thank you to all the super chats and mods. Love you guys.